Hey, this is Stefan.
This is Ada.
And welcome to living simply with lots of paper in Mexico.
We're living cleanly.
Yes, very cleanly. So today's episode, we're going to be, actually we've got a lot of different things to cover. The primary one we'll catch up a little later on is being featured on Mexican radio.
Yes. I mean, this is kind of part of our low season series, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Where, you know, it's kind of like what life is like down here when most of you guys might not be here, but there's still a lot going on.
Yeah, there is. And the Mexican radio one, by the way, there's that song by, what is it, Wall of Voodoo. I'm going to put a link to that on YouTube. So watch our video, but after you're done, come back and link to the Wall of Voodoo Mexican radio song. It's awesome. We were actually out of town, so we came back, and then our good friend Nestor picked us up. All right, I'm here with Nestor, our driver, and Ada's in the back with the toilet paper and the paper towel.
We're all set.
Oh, we tried to do something different. Pick up at the airport. This is how crazy we work. Pick up the airport.
We like efficiency.
Yes. Go to Costco, buy stuff, and then go home. And so Ada in this clip is...
Yeah, but it did backfire, as you'll see.
Nestor's been awesome. Nestor drives us around a lot, but he also does a lot of paperwork for expats and people that are down here. He's driving, so I try not to bother him too much. So Nestor, tell me a little bit about what you do for folks, like expats in particular.
Well, this is for people who wants to move from their home country to Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
So I'm in charge to do all the second process in Mexico in Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, yeah.
Temporary or permanent residency.
Okay.
And other kind of paperwork as a change of address, work permits and stuff like that.
Nestor is awesome. Totally refer him for work. Thank you, Nestor. And thank you again for picking us up.
All right. Welcome back.
How did going to Costco before getting home backfire? Oh no. So much for getting into Gringo Gulch. And so usually when you drive in to town, you can take the back way through the tunnel and then go up through El Coloso, or you can take the front way. So we took the back way, and the roads are blocked off because they decided to tear up a street and run new plumbing.
Yes.
So yeah, and so we had to drive all the way through town and then come back the other direction. And
we didn't realize that that's what they were doing though.
Yes.
Because we knew that there was a big storm the night before where we thought, oh, maybe there was a little landslide or something.
Yeah.
And
Nope.
So we fully expected to be able to get around the other direction, and that was not
No.
the case. Take your backpack.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer. I can do this. Okay.
I'll take that.
All right. This is how we roll.
We lucked out because you wanted to get beer this time, and I was like, nah, let's wait till next time.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get, I get my sparkly water there at Costco, and they were
Out.
They were out of it, which I guess it's summer, but for the first time ever. And so I was really bummed because that's actually what we went there. But I was very glad we didn't, because I was going to load up on some cases of sparkling water.
Yeah.
Where is that rascal? Oh, there he is. You might see him crawl on the sun. Oh, there we go. Getting some sunshine.
Almost every episode we have a new animal.
I think it's our new feature.
Yeah, it's our new feature, Animal of the Episode. We are back to, what do you call them again?
Garrobo.
Garrobos, not iguanas. They look kind of like iguanas.
They're like feisty versions.
They're feisty versions, smaller, a little darker in complexion. They're not green, but they're more blackish. Yeah.
And so, we have not seen the iguana since
I know.
that one episode back there
Iggy,
when Iggy
I miss
was
Iggy.
like hanging out in our pool. But the Garrobo likes to hang out in our gutters, and it likes to perch really precariously on some of the vegetation, which is probably why he ends up
falling.
going skydiving through our center, our center courtyard.
You know, it was hanging on like way on the end of a wall, and then was hanging on a branch. You know, just kind of dangling to get that nice green thing. And one time, as in a previous episode, one fell right through the center of our house.
He's an adrenaline junkie.
It must be. They must have confidence. And then, of course, geckos everywhere. And you've spotted the baby one. The baby ones are really cute.
Baby. Oh my gosh, the baby gecko. It was like the size of like my pinky nail. And I have short nails, so it was really, really tiny.
Anyway, so that's the animal of this episode. Oh man. We're gonna go to Meat Cafe here in a little bit, but I don't know. It's not uncommon to see fires in the area. Sometimes, you know, they burn right up the hill. Sometimes accidental, sometimes not. But you see fires a lot. But this last week, there was a fire and it was much closer to home.
I mean, well, what was interesting is we were gonna go have breakfast, literally, like, we were talking about it as we walk out the door and we look over across the river and we see smoke. And I'm like, wait, that's over by
Meat Cafe.
Meat Cafe, which was the restaurant we were going to go have breakfast that morning. And kind of in horror, we kind of saw this and, you know, we're like, oh, that's not looking good.
Yeah.
And then there was this huge explosion. Oh my God, it just totally, something exploded.
Holy cow.
I don't know if it hit some gas tank or what.
So we're gonna go to Meat Cafe for lunch, but after we saw that fire this morning, I don't know, it's pretty close to where Meat Cafe was, so hopefully it's okay.
Yeah, there's the university that's right, or I think it's like a university next to it, so I have a feeling that's where the fire was.
Oh, we'll find out.
I just hope no one was injured.
Yeah.
That was not a small fire.
No, yeah, it looked like there's a propane tank that went off. You hear the kind of the pressure release first, and then boom, but not a big boom, but the big fire.
No, it was a pretty big boom.
Yeah.
I thought. Going back to the gas tanks really quick.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that just as a reminder, when we bought our first little house on the hill, those gas tanks were inside the kitchen.
Yeah.
And that's what was freaking us out. And so just be aware, once again, just, you know, when you're renting or whatever, like, where are those gas tanks? Are they around anything that is, that may have a spark? Our contractor was involved in an accident at our neighbor's house, a different neighbor, and was on the roof just repairing.
Yeah, like serious burns.
Yeah. They were actually looking for a leak, and somebody downstairs just happened to turn on the air conditioning, and there was a spark up there because that's where the air conditioning was, and he ended up getting burnt.
And make sure any gas tanks you have are well ventilated. Even if outside, if they're not ventilated, because the gas will go down, make sure that's ventilated, because that's probably one of the top things to be careful of.
Yeah, if it's just collecting, because it'll just collect,
Mm-hmm.
and then it takes that little spark.
Yeah.
It's like a little summer camp or whatever here at the end of the Isla, but definitely lively and painting and everything else going on.
Meat Cafe is closed.
Closed, but understandable.
Yes, that's where the fire happened up there. Nothing like a gas truck nearby. Another meal we had was at what's it called?
You don't want to say
I don't want to
huh?
say it. What is?
What else? You got it.
That is what I know.
It's in Emiliano Zapata.
Yeah, and I think it was a Connect Cannons also. That was one of their places, and I think a lot of people mention it.
Yeah, we heard that it may have changed ownership.
So we don't know, but it was good. Good.
Yeah, it was good vibe. We enjoyed it. It's dinner time.
Oh, it's good.
Yes. No,
Not yours.
that's me. Yummy.
One key thing there, and this is just a tip for folks, I usually go between sparkling water, beer, or margaritas. That's my choice when I go out for lunch or dinner. And you've got me on to the water, right?
Agua Fresca.
Agua Fresca.
I love getting Agua Fresca.
And they had some great Agua Fresca there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
These Agua Frescas, man, these are awesome. Little pineapple Agua Fresca, not little, grande.
So don't be afraid of getting Agua Fresca when you go out to eat. Usually it's in a big bowl, looks like a margarita, but it's refreshing, and you don't have to get a buzz on, especially when you're not really wanting it.
All right, kind of something to consider is that this is low season. Like, take a look at low season. There's a lot going on right now. I don't have a voice because I was in a bar that was so full that I could barely talk. All right, so one kind of reminder about Puerto Vallarta, what makes it unique is that it is, as mentioned, it's of course a big tourist attraction for people who are,
Canadians, U.S. people coming down.
Right? But really during the summertime, especially a summer weekend, it's definitely a place where the Mexican tourists are coming. Especially, I think the freeways are starting to. Did they finally finish that?
They're getting close. I think there's one piece of it that's not done yet, but pretty much you can cruise here from you can cruise here to Puerto Vallarta from Guadalajara now, and there's a lot more bus tours, it seems, coming in, and there's a lot more local tourists coming or from around the country, and I assume Guadalajara coming in, especially the summertime. So it's really sort of nonstop.
Yeah, and so whether you're on, and so what's interesting with that is that you're going to find that there's going to be places that are crowded, but it's not necessarily the same places that you might visit.
Right.
So we have said in the past where we tend to see that a lot more of the expats and the tourists.
Romantic zone wintertime, right?
Will be romantic zone, yes, in the winter. And generally year round we see more of the local tourists down on the Malecon, especially in the evening on the Malecon. And this is low season.
On the Malecon, north of the Rio, it was a party, especially on Saturdays. Holy cow! It rivaled peak winter.
Yeah, it was.
I was surprised.
It was a bit crazy. And just as a note, and then we posted that in our Facebook group, and I think somebody mentioned like, oh my gosh, that's why I don't want to go down there now. And what you don't realize is that, you know what, you can, for some of these restaurants that you cannot get into during high season, you can walk in without a reservation.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we tend to do during low season.
Yeah. The key there, right, is the local tourists have different tastes and they have different attractions. And so you can move around, and some place will be quiet, like Pancho's Tacos is a lot more quiet. Other areas will be booming, like the Malecon.
Yeah.
And so, oh, by the way, if you want more of those videos, check out our Facebook.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Living Simply in Mexico.
I forgot.
All right, what are we doing, Ada?
We're meeting up with our leader, the leader of Gen Expats, Brent.
Yes.
And here at Starbucks in Marina, we're going to be on the radio today.
Doing a radio show.
So anyways, I guess we're branching out.
As you know, and you'll see some of our videos, they'll have common themes, like we'll be heavy on the Isla Quale and heavy on, most recently actually, the Expats group here. And we'll put a link down, Gen Expats group here in Puerto Vallarta. We'll put a link to their Facebook group. Brent Lane, who is really driving that hard, he asked us to be on his radio segment.
Yeah, he's doing a radio segment on Radiante Radio, which is it's an actual English-speaking radio station.
English, at least segment. Oh, no, it is.
Well, it's good, and it's great music too.
Yes.
If you're into kind of good classic rock.
Yeah, and so he invited us over, and here's one thing about us, and this actually goes with the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show and Barry Kessler on our last one. We love interacting with Barry, for instance, and we love interacting with Brent. We're not trying to be like media hogs. We're not trying to get out there too much. Honestly on this, right?
He loves it, though.
But it's the experience, right? It's like, I've never been on a radio show before. How cool is that? It's like WKRP, except it's real and it's not Cincinnati. It's
It was
Puerto Vallarta.
definitely Mexican radio.
It was awesome. They also have a television broadcast out of that same building, was at TV Mar. And so, you know, we had to go through security. We got in there.
It was really interesting to kind of go
Yeah.
and look at, you know, this is where, you know, they're filming like the TV and radio.
It's kind of fancy. They had like a band that was playing that they were recording some session. They were doing like a TV broadcast, and then we got into this room where they had all these mics set up, and some guy in the back in a, you know, quiet place was, hey, you're going to be on in, you know, 20 minutes and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it was fun.
It was.
It was fun. And so yeah, so we had our few minutes on there, and it was a great experience. After we got through Mexican radio, we went over to Brent and his wife's place, which was totally awesome.
Yeah, so we kind of continued. Let me tell you, Brent, seriously, you are, I'm talking to you. Like, you take that Gen X, you know, theme, like, seriously. So they basically had like a little mini arcade.
I loved it, man. It was like
and-
I was back in 1987.
The dude's got Tempest with the spinner control. Oh.
Yeah, I sat and read a book because I stink at those games, but it was really fun to see you like playing Tempest or whatever.
Oh yeah,
it
that was
you
awesome.
played, so. Watch out for any crocs. We don't want this to be the critter of the episode. We're gonna check out the Fajita banana. We're gonna have a good view.
Oh, yeah.
That's impressive looking. All right, so I am, I'm kind of getting thrown back a little bit to circa 1970 something with Thrifty Ice Cream. So I don't know about you guys, I was born in, raised in California, and we'd have Thrifty, which was kind of like a CVS, but they sold ice cream. And the ice cream would always be in these little round scoops, which
Like
these
this?
squarish scoops.
Like this?
Yeah, but they were like 15 cents a scoop back then. I think they're probably a little more.
Okay, we'll see.
Let's go check it out. So, oh my God, this is so like, this is so retro. This is so retro. Yeah, they're a little, well, once again, these aren't tasted. But still, you know, okay, a little more expensive than they used to be, but we'll take it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so, like you're a seat. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, you don't remember that being a kid? Oh yeah.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
I think I do have to pay for this because.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that one's yours. Mine's yours.
me luck.
I gotta pay first. Okay, I gotta make sure I don't drop this. Yeah. Cheers.
Let's not drop it.
I want those that bites my ice cream.
And so we did the radio show in the morning. We went with Brent and
Played
his
arcade
wife,
games.
played arcade games, went out to lunch, got some ice cream. So we did the Marina Vallarta experience, so that was good. And then we went back home, dove in a pool to cool off for an hour, and then went out again to meet up with again for an official Gen Expat event at, was it Tasting Room? El Tasting Room.
El Tasting Room, which is in Cinco de Diciembre, and really, really fantastic place.
Dang. What a good group.
What is this again? This is our tasting room. I am not the owner, Paul is. But every brand here is from Mexico. It's mostly like higher end, like boutique kind of stuff. And then they'll invite in like representatives from the different brands, and they'll do tastings for the different brands here right at El Tasting Room.
And this room is nice and cool.
Even the beers here are craft beers. They have nothing like Pacifico. Everything's craft, and everything's like really high end. And you should really come for a tasting room.
And their AC's on 18.
Oh my God.
I don't own this place, I'm not invested in this place, but I'm a huge fan. I think
Yeah,
there's exactly.
exactly.
Lots of Gen X events here.
Yeah, beer and especially the artisanal alcohol is all very like small batch, really good stuff there. So if you're looking for really good Mexican booze to make it kind of. Anyway, if you're looking for very good Mexican alcohol in many its shapes and forms, that is a great place to go check out.
And they have a tasting room.
They do have a tasting room,
so
air conditioned,
and it's nice because it just it had a really great vibe to it. And one of those places, like if you don't want to feel like you're kind of going to a touristy place to go taste some really good local stuff, this place definitely I would go back there again.
Yeah,
I'd
no,
take people back. It was
absolutely.
great.
It was a really nice spot.
Freaking turnout. How many people are here?
Shout out to the wait staff.
Yeah.
There is a ton of people there. You know, we always keep tabs on the Galeana area, and yeah, they're still working. They're putting a condo up there. I think it's a smaller condo, which is good. Up in the concrete. Wow. Hopefully this is safe.
A little crazy watching these very large vehicles
Try to
maneuver through those really narrow one-way streets, there in El Centro. But yeah, I do hope that what goes up, since it's still on the same street as the church, I hope they can maintain the same aesthetic or vibe, and it doesn't look too modern, but we'll see.
We'll see, but yeah, I think the renderings looked okay, but you never know. You never know about anything here, condominiums and such, on renderings until it's actually built, because things do change often. What you doing over here, Rita?
Well, when life hands you a bunch of limes from Costco and you're leaving the next day, it's time to make some lime juice to freeze in the ice cube trays. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Figured it's a good activity to do on a rainy evening.
Yep. Pretty sure it's a little rainy.
Just a little.
Yeah, it's a little rainy. All right, so I think that wraps it up for now. Again, what does it do? Subscribe, like, all the other good stuff?
Like, subscribe, and as usual, I always have stuff to do. You're always trying to rope me in here to do these videos.
Exactly.
When I'm in the midst of like laundry and everything else.
We're about ready to record our overview, and Ada's got a mission.
We're leaving today.
We're leaving today. You go. Chopping our jungle.
Well, we need a little trimming.
All right.
Great seeing you guys. We look forward to our next little sharing video.
Yes, and also, like, subscribe, as mentioned. Create some comments. We love the interaction and chatting with you guys, especially here on YouTube or on Facebook. And also to, as mentioned, we are running ads now. Those go to charity, and we'll be highlighting that in future episodes as well. So thank you all for contributing.
And shout out to those who take pictures of our little stone on the Isla Quale and see us and show it. I'm like, ooh, those are fans.
Yeah, exactly. In Costco. In Costco, no less.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.
See ya.
All right, so I want to say hi to you too, Ada Stefan of Living Simply in Mexico. How are you guys doing?
Doing great, actually.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well, I want to welcome you to the show. Welcome to radio. It's the cool thing everybody's doing these days. So first off, I personally do love your YouTube channel. This is no BS, because we're sort of friends on the outside of this whole radio studio thing too. And I'm telling you, once I saw your channel, I've been tuning in like crazy. So tell me a little bit about the premise of your channel for our listeners that have not seen it or tuned in yet. And why did you decide to create Living Simply in Mexico?
Well, it's really an interesting one. The premise is all about nothing, kind of like Seinfeld, really, right? In the sense that, we get out there and we videotape our day, videotape our week, and just put it up on YouTube. And we did it for us primarily. That was a why. And we ended up having people follow us. We were kind of shocked by that.
Right.
But it's been fun. We've taken it from there for, since 2018, 19?
Yeah, pretty much right when we that's getting close to the trivia question. I'm going to just stay quiet right
So
now.
to divert the listeners, so you guys started pre-COVID and then you kept the channel going through COVID. And
those tough times, that's admirable, because a lot of people just kind of gave up everything during COVID and then restarted, but you guys were rocking right through it.
Yeah.
The best you could. Awesome. So, in the first place, why did y'all choose Puerto Vallarta?
Well, Puerto Vallarta has always been kind of a home away from home. Stephen and I have traveled a lot, and of all the places we've been, whenever we would get back to our home in the Bay Area, we would be like, oh, that was fun, but there's no place like home. The exception being Puerto Vallarta. Every time we came to visit, Puerto Vallarta was always on our mind. And so we pretty much had the idea that if we were going to buy something or do something kind of crazy outside of the country, PV was going to be it.
Good answer. I love it. And we love it here too. And we all love it. I mean, PV is just a special little gem in the world. You guys have traveled a lot. I've traveled a lot. And we just know that this place is home for sure. Yeah. So here's the question. So your name of your YouTube channel is Living Simply in Mexico. So I do have to ask, do y'all live simply in Mexico, or did you at first?
That is a great question. And the reality is, it's always been aspirational, right? And a lot of people get that too, but the idea is to come down here, live simply, and every time we're down here, we do live simply. The crazy thing is we got a lot going on around the world, and especially in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Being down here makes us realize that you really don't need much to have a good time and to be happy and to feel really settled. And I think having a place to be grounded is important, because we've got our daughter who's going to be a senior in high school this year. We've got the whole college thing where we got to start looking at. There's a lot of transition with regards to our what's happening with our work, but I've got a brick and mortar Pilates and physical therapy business going on, and Stefan's working. So we're definitely got a lot going on up north that we just can't really toss away. So nice. We hope to live simply at some point in time in the future.
And I think a lot of people relate to that, actually. A lot of people are in that boat. We just went and did it.
Yeah. So you're running 100 miles an hour back in the U.S., and when you get down here, you get to take that breath and live a little more simply. It's your interpretation of it.
Instead of waiting to retire, we're basically integrating it into our lives. Because there's really no such thing as work-life balance. It's all life. And so we're just basically creating that balance.
Oh, man, I love that. It's just life. I'm going to keep that one. That should be a t-shirt. That is really great. And so who do you feel your main audience for Living Simply in Mexico is?
This is a big surprise, but it's Gen X plus. A lot of Gen X, and then everybody, upward in their 80s. In fact, my father, we featured on a couple of videos. He's in his 80s, and he's got like this little following going on. So
we've had requests for more of him.
Yeah, so 50 to 80 plus.
I saw that one. That was great.
Yeah.
No, your dad's a star. I thought that was an amazing episode. I mean, they're all great, but that one was super fun. So you guys cover so many great topics: food, arts, adventures, advice. But what do you two do for fun when the cameras are not on?
Well, that's kind of the interesting thing. We don't come into doing these videos with the idea of like, here's the theme, here's what we're going to talk about, do it, and then we have our life. Really, we actually do our thing. What you're seeing on video is what we're doing, when we're down here. And then we're like, hey, here are the videos I have for this week. And I shoot them over to Stefan, and he puts it together. So really, it's kind of not really reverse engineered, but kind of
coming up with a theme and a title is very, very difficult. It's like, we're going out dancing, and we went to a bar, and we went to Gen Expats. What's the theme of that week? We'll come up with it.
You guys are Seinfeld. You guys are Seinfeld. Let's go wander around, talk to aimlessly to all these people, and let's try to make that into a show. But it's so captivating, and it's so honest.
Well, and recently we've had kind of the new segment is sort of Critter of the Month or Critter of the episode, because there's always something new, and whether it's new art, new critters, new friends, new people, whatever it is, that's part of why we love PV so much, is that there is always this dynamic sort of element to it that we enjoy.
Right. And speaking of dynamic, I was telling you even before we started recording, I love the dynamic between you two on the show, and it reminds me of my own relationship, because I love just watching Stefan, and he's talking about something, and he's getting really passionate about it, and somehow he just trips into something, and I just see your eyes roll, and like, I live that.
Appreciate that on the radio here. So
I know.
You also can't appreciate on the radio how much Stefan talks with his hands. I mean, you don't realize when we're sitting next to each other, like, I'm having to watch out that I don't get whacked by him. So it's like, all right, just keep him down.
Yeah, so you're kind of in like an 80s video game, like dodging or going Matrix on him. Beautiful, beautiful. So you're both, thank you for bringing up Gen Expats, by the way. That's awesome. And you're both members. How did you guys come across our group?
Well, we were cruising around Facebook as we typically do, and we're always looking for new things. And all of a sudden, this loud and proud Gen Expats PV came on the Facebook feed, and we checked it out. And we wanted to see, who's leading that thing, Brent Lane. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to take a look at that. And then paddleboarding, right? And you're doing paddleboarding, and there's so many events going on. It was so much easy because, if it's around our place, there's always so many events. One was bound to be around our place. We went and saw you guys, went paddleboarding. Awesome time.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that was actually, I think, the biggest thing that was like where my eyes kind of bugged out was like, what? There's people that we finally found people that were able to, they're not able, but that were seemed to be interested in doing things like water sports because that's been a big part of our lives is being able to do that. So
and plus you're a little crazy too.
yeah,
I've heard I'm a little
Just a little.
I'm a lot. Yeah, Jesse's been just waiting to get that in. Just a little crazy. Understand. And I know that you guys follow kind of maybe that Seinfeld mold, and maybe a lot of things aren't scripted. But do you have anything fun coming up in the next couple of weeks you'd like to talk about with our listeners that may or may not make your show?
Yeah, well, we haven't. Well, one of the things you may want to do is follow our Facebook group, Living Simply in Mexico Facebook group, because that's actually where we do post our events. So we don't put that on YouTube. We actually post it in the Facebook group. So you can kind of save the date, save the week. Sometime around mid September, we'll probably have a meetup somewhere, but we don't have a place or venue or date yet. But it'll be sometime in that period. And then I think other than that, I'm holding retreats at our house, our second one that we got. So, yeah, we're going to do a Dia de los Muertos retreat. So a little cultural.
Wow.
So that's not necessarily related to necessarily our PV people, but last year we did actually had a couple viewers from our channel who wanted to experience that holiday with. In downtown, and they live here locally. They live actually in Puerto Vallarta, and so it was kind of cool to have people that were sort of our followers to actually do that as well.
Okay, that's awesome. And so I was amiss for not mentioning the Facebook group, but please do follow their Facebook group, Living Simply in Mexico on Facebook. Some great activities, some great events. That Dia de los Muertos sounds amazing, and I hope we get to enjoy that with you as well.
I hear you've got a little maybe event going on around the same time. So
Maybe so. I am known to love horror movies, and so if you love horror movies and you're interested in our Gen Expats events, there's a little spoiler coming out. But yes, October is going to be another good event as well. But we'll see. Maybe we won't overlap. We'll figure it out. But oh man, you guys are so awesome. But you know what? There's some people out there that want some tickets. So rather than me tell everybody, what the answer is to what year you guys came down and got the house, why don't you guys tell me what year it was?
It was 2017.
Dun, 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 dun. So hopefully Jesse will tell us somebody won those tickets.